You know, with temperatures seeming to climb higher and higher every year, a lot of us grab that sun protective shirt to try and stay cool. But what if I told you that the very shirt you bought to block the sun was based on a huge misunderstanding of what actually makes you feel hot? Well, we're about to look at some new fabric tech that is going to completely change how you think about clothing.
I know, it sounds totally backwards, right? You buy a special shirt to stay cool, and you end up feeling stuffy, maybe even warmer than before. Well, it turns out that feeling is not just in your head. There is some serious science behind it, and it all starts with understanding what sunlight is really made of. So, okay, here's the first big surprise. We are constantly told to worry about UV rays, right? But look at this. They only make up a tiny 3% of the sun's energy. Now look at the biggest piece of that pie. A massive 53% is invisible infrared radiation. And that infrared, that is the part you actually feel as heat. And this right here brings us to a huge misconception in the world of performance clothing, something we're calling the anti-UV lie. So here's the bottom line. Focusing all our energy on that little 3% is kind of like trying to fix a leaky boat by bailing with a teaspoon while completely ignoring the giant hole in the bottom. You're tackling the smallest, tiniest part of the actual problem.
Exactly. You know that baking, intense heat you feel on your skin on a really sunny day? That's not the UV. That's almost all infrared radiation. And it's the very energy that most of these standard sun-blocking fabrics just completely ignore.
Okay, so here's where it all goes wrong. When a fabric blocks that tiny bit of UV, but then absorbs all that infrared energy, the material itself literally heats up. Then, it radiates that heat it stored right back onto your skin. It's a process called secondary radiation, and it is exactly why you can feel like you're cooking inside a shirt that's supposed to be protecting.
So, if just blocking UV isn't the whole story, what is? Well, it took a deeper understanding of the real science of solar heat to find a breakthrough.
And it wasn't easy. It actually took a full decade of dedicated work for Dr. Lin and his team to engineer a solution from the ground up. What they created is a brand new fiber called Mica release, and is specifically designed to manage the entire spectrum of solar energy, not just that tiny 3% sliver.
So how in the world does it do this? Well, you can think of it like a three-pronged attack on heat. First, it reflects a huge amount of the sun's energy, just bouncing it away. Second, it has high radiation, so it's really good at pushing your own body heat out. And third, and this is key, it has low heat storage, which means the fabric itself doesn't absorb heat and cook you from the outside in.
But you know, talk is one thing. Let's get to the actual numbers, because this is where the science really translates into some seriously impressive performance.
Check this out, 66.6%. What's that? That's the solar reflectance rate of Mica release fabric. That means 2/3 of the sun's total energy is just immediately bounced away before it even gets a chance to heat you up.
Now, to put that number into perspective for you, a 60% rate is what's considered super high-end for the tinting you put on your car windows to keep it from turning into an oven. This fabric has an even higher rate. It's like a personal wearable shade.
And here's the other side of that coin. The solar absorption rate is less than 1%. This is absolutely critical. It means the fabric itself barely heats up at all, which prevents that whole secondary radiation thing that makes other clothes feel so hot and stuffy.
And this is how it's all possible. The magic is really in the fiber's molecular structure. I mean, look at this complex, layered architecture on the left. It's engineered specifically to reflect heat. And the result of all that complex science? The elegant, high-performance fabric you see on the right. It's engineering at a microscopic level for comfort you can actually feel.
But this technology's intelligence doesn't just stop with temperature. Oh no, it manages your entire personal environment.
We have all been there. You're out being active, you start to sweat, and then your clothes get damp and they start to cling to you. This creates a hot, humid layer of air right between your skin and the fabric, a really uncomfortable microclimate that just traps heat and moisture. Mica release is actually engineered to manage that microclimate. So it's not just reflecting external heat, it's also absorbing your own body's heat and radiating it away. Plus, it's designed to pull moisture right off your skin and spread it out, keeping you way more dry and comfortable no matter what you're doing.
And the benefits just keep on stacking up. Because all these properties are built right into the fiber, they're not just some chemical coating. Its performance is permanent. It won't wash out. It's also naturally odor resistant and incredibly easy to clean. It releases stains like coffee or soy sauce with no problem.
So you're probably wondering, how does it fight odor without any chemicals? Well, get this. At the molecular level, the fiber has these negatively charged things called hydroxyl groups. And they basically act like little magnets for the organic compounds that cause odor, and they actively break them down, which keeps your garment fresh. Pretty cool, huh?
So what does all of this mean for the future, for what we're actually going to be wearing?
Well, it means we can have a complete all-in-one shield in a single piece of fabric. You get top-tier UV protection, active cooling from solar heat, moisture wicking, odor control, stain release. I mean, it is the total performance package. And the applications for a fabric this smart are just huge. I mean, of course, it's perfect for high-performance sportswear, but just imagine everyday shirts that keep you cool on your commute, fashion that's both stylish and functional, or even home bedding that helps regulate your temperature so you can get a better night's sleep.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? We've gone from simply covering our bodies to wearing intelligent materials that are actively managing our environment. If our clothes can do all of this today, just imagine the kinds of smart materials we're going to be living with tomorrow.